Ma'am, how are you?
I'm okay, darling.
It's so good to have you on Filme Shilmy once again, and a huge congratulations on not just Mardani 3, but the National Film Award that you got and completing 3 glorious decades in the Indian film industry.
Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. I need to thank you because you're part of my journey as well.
Oh no, ma'am, it's our pleasure to have, honestly, and our honor to have been witness to this amazing journey so far. Now, Rani, ma'am, I must tell you, Shivani Shivaji Roy is probably one of the most satisfying police characters I always relish when I watch on screen. But it also fascinates me so much because it's such a layered character. There's so many aspects to her. There's obviously that fearless Jabba's side to her. But at the same time, there's always that sense of protection that she has, and there's so many different layers. How do you, as an artist, sort of compartmentalize these various strands, and particularly in this Mardani 3 as well?
I think, in the heart of the matter is that Shivani Shivaji Roy is a woman in uniform, and also she's special because she's a woman. You
Hmm.
know, the way she tackles crime, or the way she tackles criminals, or the way she sees a particular situation comes from a very different point of view because she being a woman, her handling of cases, her handling of her profession is again different because it's always from the gaze of a female point of view.
Hmm.
And that makes her super special because she is sensitive. She understands when uh, things are slightly something that she needs to be, um, vulnerable. She knows how to show empathy when it's required in certain cases, when
Yeah.
girls are in the uh, receiving end of a brutal crime. So I think women, because they come generally with so much of empathy, love, and care, that
Hmm.
translates into the job that they do by wearing the uniform as well. So I think that's what makes Shivani strikingly different from any other male cop.
Absolutely. No, very beautifully said. And I think in this one in particular, and I think even from what I saw in the trailer, the stakes are definitely very high here. And I think the peril is just as grave as well, because obviously it deals with some very frightening crimes that
Yeah.
young girls are sort of privy to. But I think also here the fact that the component in the previous franchises we've seen where the antagonists are male and they're younger, but here it's someone who's a bit senior and is also a woman. And I
Mm.
think that it seems like that also has taken a bit of a hit on Shivani as well, where she's kind of a lot more worried because until now it was like, kind of dealing with someone who was younger. But here it's like a woman who's senior, who's the head of this beggar mafia that's happening. So I would love to know what was your emotions, I think, going at that time when dealing with this, because it must have been quite emotionally challenging for you as well to explore
I
that.
think it is very difficult and emotionally challenging to be in Shivani's shoes because at the end of the day, the crimes that we talk about in the film are actually inspired by real life incidents and causes.
Correct.
So to actually believe that a child or a girl has been subjected to this kind of torture, trauma, the pain that would have been there, or the pain with their families, or to have, kind of the pain of your child being abducted or missing children. I think it's a very grave trauma that any parent can go through and be subjected to. So, of course, playing the role in itself drains you completely because at the end of the day, even if we are portraying a scene or we are acting out a scene, we actually know that these are things that are actually happening.
Mm.
So it
And
does kind of completely make you wonder and make you feel sad, and at the same time, make you feel the rage and the anger.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because I've been listening to the Mardani anthem from the first film a lot. And it really gives me so much strength actually, when I
Mm.
listen to it as well. And
Right.
I just love the incorporation of the shlok that's in there as well. And I think
Yes.
that that's exactly what Shivani really embodies. Is like in our culture, we look at really strong feminine divine energies, to
Yes,
help us,
absolutely.
give us that strength to defeat evil as
Yes,
well.
absolutely. And
And that,
Mardani
yeah,
is actually about good versus evil, and the evil
right.
can be evil irrespective of the gender.
Absolutely, so true. Really, really beautifully said. And I think what also I love about the Mardani franchise and what I love especially with the way the films are done is that there is a sense of it's very earthy. It's very earthy, but at the same time, and what I've always admired YRF for is the balance that is there in terms of the visual appeal that's there. The colors are always so vibrant to look at. And I love the fact that there is that sense of earthiness that the camera always delves into the gullies, it delves into the places where even as audiences we feel like we're not meant to be there,
Yes.
But then at the same time, it's so beautifully balanced with the cinematography, the color palette. For you as an artist, actually, Rani, man, when you're there, sort of on set, how do these technical aspects also, help you or kind of assist you in that sense as well cinematically? I would love to know that aspect as well.
I think what's important, it's a very beautiful question. Um, I think these kind of locations actually build the authenticity of the story,
Mm,
because it makes an audience believe that it's actually happening in real time, and that's what the intention of the director and the maker is,
mm,
because we need to make them feel that the story and the uh, progression in the story is all happening in real time in the real location. So the minute it is in a real space, you completely get transported to that world.
mm.
So
No,
yeah, the
absolutely.
real setting is important in a story.
That is so true. And I think I remember when I spoke with you in Mr. Chatterjee versus Norway as well, that for me, what I've always admired about you, and this is in reference to Mardani as well, that, you've always you are a superstar and you are a megastar, and I'm so glad. I mean, आपका नाम ही रानी है, तो मतलब और की क्या बोले हम? But it's just so amazing how you've had this amazing legacy, but yet you've always championed stories, that are of strong social importance, no matter
Yes.
in which sort of no matter what sort of movie it is, but that agency, that moral standing in society is something you've always stood for, and I deeply would just want to admire that and just sort of,
Thank
you
you
know,
so much. And with you saying that, it gives me even more power to go ahead, forge my path towards the similar thing in the future. Because I do feel that after being in the industry for so many years, and when there is an audience to hear you, to see your work, it's very important as an artist, as a citizen of the world, as a
mm,
woman especially, to be able to bring forth stories of strong women. At the same time, talk about the challenges that they face in the real world.
absolutely. And
Those challenges are important to bring forth, and tell people that these are the challenges faced by these strong women, and how do they go against the norm and against society and against all the things that are labeled towards her. And she shatters all of that and she forges ahead to her particular personal victory of how she reaches.
yes, absolutely. And I just want to bring it back to the whole idea of compassion, because like we were talking about the different layers of
Right.
Shivani as well. And I feel, Rani ma'am, for what I've always gauged from seeing you on screen as well, of course, that agency and social importance, but it is that empathy and compassion that you've always displayed, and I think that's something which I always have carried with me, sort of watching your works. And I think even when dealing with, strong social themes on the commercial space or cinema, how important has that sense of compassion been as an artist, actually? I would love to know that. And perhaps in reference as well to Mardani as well, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
I think compassion is something that I have for female characters,
Mm,
especially to show women in the best light ever, because I genuinely believe that when you show strong female characters, it gives a lot of empowerment to a lot of girls who probably would not have had the privilege to, show their courage or to show their strength. Sometimes there's a lot of beauty in quiet strength that we must have seen in our mothers.
Yes.
Sometimes there's beauty in strength that is very vocal and very physical, which we might have seen or encountered in our friends, in our mothers, in our aunts. So displaying of strength is not always not necessarily loud or cacophonic. It can also be in understated silence.
Mm,
Um, the way our mothers have brought us up against all odds, the way our mothers have championed for us, and the fact that they were our biggest cheerleaders, the way our nannies, our dadis have stood
mm,
and taught us how to keep a family together. That also requires a lot of courage and strength. To every single woman who goes out there and works, to
mm.
every housewife who builds a beautiful for herself, that requires a lot of courage and strength because that's a challenge every day. To be in her best of spirits, to be able to give that love and that compassion to her children and her family. It's not always easy because you have to face a lot of challenges doing that. And to, of course, the women in uniform, whether they're protecting our country at the borders or they are protecting civilians wearing the uh, police uniform. So in
Sure.
every case, in every situation, women bring about a lot of compassion through their quiet strength, and that's what I like to embody through my characters.
Beautifully. Oh, amazing. And you know what? That's so incredible. In fact, I remember mentioning and referencing that one scene in Mrs. Chatterjee versus Noir where you're eating with that banana,
Yeah,
वो
yeah,
सास ताना दे रही है. And I was like, oh my God. In fact, my mum, I've
yeah.
seen her watch a lot of emotional films, Rani ma'am, but the way she cried when watching Mrs. Chatterjee
Oh,
versus Noir, आज तक मैंने नहीं देखा उनको ऐसे रोते हुए. So
oh,
that
how
is your
it's feeling
strength.
so bad that your mom cried.
No, but it's just goes to show your power as an artist and what that, what that true Mardani strength can, how that really does reflect through. And I think it's incredible. But I
Yeah,
think,
but you see, Devika brings about a different kind of strength, and Shivani brings in a different kind of strength. But they both are equally powerful and both are equally strong.
I do often wonder if your character from No One Killed Jessica, had
Right.
a discussion with Shivani Shivaji Roy. I do wonder how that conversation would play out
It
because
was
I think it would be
such an
absolutely fine.
amazing conversation, I would say. They're such amazing women, both of them. Like Meera Geti is just stunning, and so is Shivani Shivaji Roy.
I can't lie. I think No One Killed Jessica, your role in that actually did have a role to play, actually me becoming a journo as well. So I must also
Wow.
credit that to you as well. So honestly, that
Ah,
was really lovely. But I think no, and I also I'm really pleased with the fact that Abhiraj is directing the film, and his journey has been so inspiring, and I'm so happy that he's worked on this movie, and I think I would love to know actually, with the directors that you've had from Pradeep Da to Gopi Sir in the second one to now Abhiraj, I think from then to now, what has been uh, a key observation that you found with the way directors have really taken charge of the Mardani franchise, and what has been the thing that has really stayed with you, I think, over the years?
I think Dada obviously was the founder, the first director, and with the Nirbhaya case, the way Dada, me, Adi, three of us, what we felt and how we wanted to express our grief and anger through Mardani, the film.
Mm-mm.
It's Dada, of course. And Dada, if anybody knows Dada, I do miss him a lot today because his feedback and his pat on the back is something that I will miss, which I got in Mardani 2 from him. And Mardani 1, of course, because he was there with me through the journey. Gopi, being the writer of Mardani 1 and 2, was with us from the beginning of the journey of Mardani because he was the writer. He was the soul of the film. And of course, he directed the second one as well
Mm.
and wrote the second one as well. So you can see these are the men, including Adi, my husband. They are the ones
Mm.
who also feel so strongly towards this cause of women
True.
empowerment that their contribution of making this movie, especially Adi, for producing a film like this. Not many
Yes.
producers would take the risk of making a film which is um, with a female lead, with a female protagonist, and with a subject which, at that time, obviously, not very many people were comfortable to watch.
Mm.
And of course, to Mardani 3, where we definitely have a new uh, person like Abhiraj getting into the shoe of the director. But what is beautiful is that he is also a father of a girl, and he
Yes.
also champions this cause equally, you know.
Mm.
So it's beautiful to have, um, men and women on the film who definitely are part of that uh, tribe, who want to make a difference, who want to talk about women empowerment, and who want to tell stories, irrespective of labeling it as a woman oriented film, but see the film as a story and as a film in itself.
Absolutely. And one final question before you wrap up, Rani ma'am. It's been 3 decades in the industry, and like we've mentioned, there's so many amazing achievements, and what you've really represented is beyond the screen. But you've also voiced uh, and represented different women from different parts of India, and I think that's also something that I really want to also acknowledge and congratulate you here. I think having done that in your career and having obviously been a big champion of such a formidable cop in Indian cinema, I think what would you say is the kind of not milestone per se, but something that you really would like to champion more, especially when it comes to different voices of India in Indian cinema as well?
I think there's a lot for me to do. This completion of 30 years feels like a new birth for me.
Yeah.
It also feels like I have so much more that I want to say, so much more that I want to do in terms of being an actor, being a champion for women causes and women stories. So yes, there's a lot that I'm going to do.
Oh, bless you. But on that note, Rani ma'am, thank you so much. Such
Thank
a
you.
pleasure. And it was so lovely seeing you at Come Fall in Love as well last year. Really lovely to see you.
Yes, absolutely. See you soon, and I hope I can come and celebrate the success of Mardani 3 in Dubai, in UK, and in the US.
Definitely, Rani ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Anuj. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.